Here's a quick video tour of the Level 6 Spelfabet Workbook. This is version 2, 2017. This is the Parent Aid edition, but the Teacher Clinician edition is exactly the same, except you can make more copies. So it's a PDF download that you get from my website, and you can print it up like this with a lovely colour copy and a shiny thingo if you like, or you can just use it as worksheets if you don't want to be so fancy. I've just done a comb binding thing here. There's an index page that shows you what spellings are covered in the book, and there's a bit of an introduction and some instructions if you haven't used this kind of workbooks before. And then we're going to launch into, I'll just adjust the camera up a bit so you can see the top of the page a bit more easily, as in choice: fence, France, mince, piece, sauce, or France, sorry. That's very posh. And then like this. So you first of all copy the words down, match them to the picture, and there's a parent cheat sheet that tells you which word is which. A teacher cheat sheet if you need that. And then write the words yourself. One sheep's wool is a fleece, have some juice, he likes to dance. Then with an SE, house, moose, nurse, rinse. So the same thing, copy the words and then write them yourself and remember how to spell them. Then more, course, increase, grease, gooseberries, release. Copy them down, write the whole the words yourself, and put them into sentences. So we're starting to get an idea of what type of word it is. Is it a noun? Is it a verb? And so on. Blouse, bruise, cheese. So this sound is a zzz at the end of cheese, but we still write SE. Cruise, please, raise. Write them yourself with SE. ZE words, so booze, bronze, gauze, seize, snooze. There's another way to write zzz at the end of words, after, typically after a two-letter vowel spelling, like, or after a vowel-consonant combination like ON, or AU, or EI, or OO. Those kind of spellings have a ZE or an SE after them. Change, cringe, hinge, large, range. So we have a GE spelling for J after two-letter vowel spellings or after a consonant. Then as in wrap with a WR, wrap, wrestlers, wrens, wreath, wrists, wrong. And as in breathe, and soothe, and loathe, and tithe with a spelled an ending with THE. And then an as in need, and knead the bread, and kneel, knife, knit, knock. So with a KN, that's an old English one, Anglo-Saxon one originally. CK goes after A, E, or A. K goes after other vowel spellings. So practicing that again. That's already been covered a few times, but sometimes it takes a while to really nail down. Attic, comic, garlic, panic. These ones you would imagine would have CK, but I think they originally did have CK, but they decided to save IC. So now the IC words have got typically just IC at the end. Accordion, these ones are double C. Accordion, accompany, accountant, accuse, broccoli, hiccup with a double C. And then, not many words have a double C. And then these ones, double C's, it's accept. So the first letter C is a K. The second one is a S. Accept, access, vaccine, succeed. And then sometimes we write that K with an X. So just remembering which is which, and then write them yourself on the next page. With a PH, as in, it's a Greek spelling originally, nephew, phone, sphere, trophy, sphinx. Writing those ones down. And core, chameleon. So this is again a Greek spelling with a CH for K, as in echidna and orchestra and chameleon. Write the words yourself. Then we have a from French with QUE, antique, boutique, clique, Mozambique, opaque, talk. Try not to put an outrageous French accent on when I'm doing those. Catalogue, dialogue, monologue, plague. A GUE is a G at the end. So these ones, Americans don't put the UE on the end. Catalogue, they just stop with a G, dialogue. But typically in Australian English we do GUE. GU as in disguise, guard, guess, guide, guilty. There's quite a few words that have those. Badger, budget. So this J is a DG, typically after A, E, or A, just like DGE, as in badge, hedge, fridge, lodge, which was studied in Workbook 1 and practiced in Workbook 2 quite a lot. And so here we meet it again, but this time it doesn't have an E because it's part of it's in the middle of the word rather than at the end. Bristles, Chris and Fasten. Listen, these ones are, there's a T that you don't pronounce. So moist, you do say the T, but when you make it into moisten, you don't. And there's quite a lot of these ones with LE at the end, Bristol, Castle, but you don't, you put an ST, but you just say the sound. So spelling effectively with an ST. Baguette, barrette, brunette, flannelette, laundrette. So it's a French spelling at the end of the word for et. And brochure, another French one, as in chef, and shoot and machete and parachute. And then as in bomb and comb and dumb. This is a syllable final spelling, originally I think from Latin. And sometimes when you're making these words longer, for example, limber up, you do say the B, and when you extend the word, but not always. Climbing, we don't say the B. So MB, syllable final, that's a funny way to write Adolescent, we've got a funny way to write with SC. Fascinated, science, scythe with SC, like in science. Assignment, this is a GN for N, as in sign. So here when we make sign into signature, we do say the G, but when it's just sign, we don't. New and nat and designs, there's campaign, there's quite a lot of words that have a GN for N. And GH, as in dingy, gherkin, spaghetti. So that sounds like a G. And then it also can sound like in cough and laugh and tough. So this one's at the end of the syllable, trough and rough. The other one is at the beginning of the syllable, the GH, it's a G. Quite confusing. As in country and cousins and couples. So here, southern used to be south, and then it was made longer and made into southern, but the OU spelling is retained. And quite often that's how we get funny spellings in English, because we're retaining a meaning-based spelling in a base word, and then we're adding something on. So as in cousin and couple, and then as in Belgium. So this GI is an Italian-y, Latin-y kind of thing. Norwegian, Norwegian, is that Italian? I don't know. Hygiene, collegians, paraplegia, prestigious with a GI. Billiards and brilliant and onion and stallion. That's a Y sound with a letter Y. Brilliant. So Y and E are very close. Stallion, U. And then we have some verbs where British English would have burnt with a T, American English would have burned with an ED, and Australians tend to sit on the fence. Some people write spelt with a T, some people write spelt with an ED. It depends on how you pronounce it, I guess. You say spelled, I spelled that wrongly, versus spelt, spoilt and spoiled. So language is changing. And Gua, as in anguish, bilingual, guava, and language. We don't write GW, we typically write GU when we have G and W together. Ballet, chalet, debut, nougat, sachet. French words have a T on the end that you don't say. Buddha, chihuahua, exhausted, exhibition. Again, this is an H that you don't say. Hour, and honest, and honour. And these ones are practicing whether to put an A. These are definite articles, a or an. This is an impala, this is a tui, this is an alpaca. So this one is whether it's followed by a vowel letter. Here, these ones, the meeting went for an hour. So we have the letter H is a consonant letter, but because we don't say it, the first sound in the next word is ow, which is a vowel, so we have an, because we have the an breaks up the that a and the vowel in the next word. So a uniform, because uniform starts with a y sound, even though we don't write a letter Y. This is u, that sound starts with a y sound, even though it doesn't start with a letter Y. So there are some words, Union Jack, even though it's a vowel letter, because it's not a vowel sound, we don't write we write an. So yeah, just a little bit of sort of arcane knowledge about sounds. And so there we've finished most of the vowel spelling system, and the next thing we get onto is things like homophones, prefixes and suffixes in the next week.